I remember hearing the story when my father was alive, and he would listen to the radio. And this guy named Eddie had called in, and it was this white guy, and he was talking about these Mexican folks across the street from him where he lived at, and it was on the night of Halloween on a full moon. And Eddie had basically said that there was a gentleman who stood out from everyone from that crowd at that party. So Eddie said that his neighbors were throwing a Halloween party the day of Halloween. And they were all kind of drunk and they were all smoking weed. So it kind of filled the air. So you kind of get the idea. And one of the guys, the guy that lived in that house, we'll just say his name is Carlos, comes out and says, "Hey, everyone, let's play with the Ouija board." So all the girls were like, "No, like Carlos, that's not kind of cool." And then he's like, "Okay, how about you guys?" All the guys were like, "No, homie, like I'm straight." So here comes Eduardo, right? This big buff cholo, tatted from the neck down, really buff, muscular. And they're like, "Oh, why don't you do it, Eduardo?" And Eduardo's like, "No, I don't believe in none of that stuff." And then one of the girls, we'll just call her Angela. Angela comes up to Eduardo and says, "Oh, what's the matter, Eduardo? You too scared? Is that little machismo energy scared? Huh? You little boy? Huh? You're like acting like a little niño or whatever." So he was like, "You know what, Angela? F you. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and prove to you that this ain't real, right?" So Eduardo, being the macho man that he is, starts walking him to the Ouija board. And he's like, "I'm gonna show all you guys that this stuff right here, it's not even real. It's fake. And I'm gonna prove it to all you guys that it's just all rumors." So it gets great. So he asked the guy, like he asked everybody around, and he's like, "How do you work this?" And they're like, "Well, you first off, you got to say hello." So Eduardo gets a planchette and he moves it over and he says hello. Right when the planchette, right when he moved the planchette back to the middle, the planchette moved forward and it said hello. And he was like, "No, fool, like you guys all messing with me right now. Like you guys are freaking tripping. Like he's like, I know that you guys are playing a trick on me or whatever." And everyone's looking at Eduardo and he's like, "What are you talking about? Like we're not even near you." You know, and Eduardo, mind you, had been drinking all night. He's been smoking all night. He's on a good one. So he proceeds. He's like, "You know what?" He's like, "I'm gonna prove to all you guys that you guys are messing with me, and I'm gonna prove to you guys this is fake." So he goes, he starts asking the board a question, and he said, "When will I die?" Hit like for part two.